Shalom Chaverim. Are you following the story of Mr. Snowden? It's been in the couple of weeks, first page, second page, third page, but it's certainly in the news. It's actually quite a fascinating story, which is still unfolding, and I really don't know how it will be resolved. But I'd like to share with you some lessons that I derived from this whole story. Of course, it's quite ironic that Mr. Snowden is in a airport as I'm doing this YouTube, and in the airport people are always either coming from a destination or going to a destination, and he has no destination at this moment. But let's analyze this episode. I'm sure you'll be able to see it in Hollywood in a couple of years, and it'll be much more exciting than what I have to share with you. Here's a man that worked for national intelligence, and he spilled the beans essentially, and then decided to get away with it and leave the country. And he has offers from different countries where he's permitted to enter. The problem is that he needs a visa. In order to get the visa, he has to present himself to a embassy, if I understand correctly, and essentially American government wants him back. So here we have a person that has a country but doesn't want to be a part of that country. Actually, the country is interested in him, not to reward him or to give him any honors. The country wants him back basically to stand trial. And I'm thinking to myself, how amazing that once you're born in a country and you are an American citizen, you just cannot make believe you're not an American citizen. So without getting involved with whether or not America should be pursuing him, I'm thinking more the idea. He belongs to America. That is really what the American government, that is their message. And they're telling all the other nations that are interested in inviting him that don't mess with us. This is not right. Respect us. He is part of America. And yet, if you ask Mr. Snowden, he would say, I don't want to be part of America. I'm happy to live in Venezuela. I'll renounce my citizenship if necessary. But it's not up to him. At least not at this stage. So here we are, Jewish people. And you ask a person, so you're Jewish, aren't you? And he says, oh, just by birth. I'm not really religious. I'm not even an ethnic Jew. But yes, I was born Jewish, but so what? And I'm thinking to myself, so what? A person was born in America. So what? Well, you're born in America, you are a citizen. And the country has a sort of a hold over you. Now, whether or not you can renounce your citizenship is not the issue. What is the issue is until you renounce that citizenship, you have responsibilities to the country in which you are a citizen of. So, what do you mean you're not Jewish, but you were born Jewish? You are Jewish, my friend. And the Jewish people literally can hold you responsible for representing Judaism. And not only can they hold you responsible, but they also give you the privilege to represent the finest of Judaism, and you have all of its value and strength. So my first lesson that I derive from this whole story is, if you're Jewish, celebrate it, because you could certainly not deny it nor run away from it. And if you feel it's unfair somehow, I believe that this episode unfolding is a reminder that, you know something, even in the secular world, this concept still remains. And then there's a second thing. All of us are familiar with the idea of what's called Lashon Hara, not to gossip. Now, gossip is not slander. Slander means you tell something untrue about a person. But Lashon Hara essentially means you might be telling the truth, but the reason why you're sharing this truth with others is not so the person should be enhanced by it. Essentially, you're saying something perhaps that could be embarrassing about that person or unfavorable about that person. You know, Mr. Snowden has not said any lies, at least yet. United States government did not say what this man claims is untrue. No, we have not spied on our allies. We have not spied on our citizens. They never said that. They merely say, why did you reveal it? It casts us in an unfavorable light. It embarrasses us in front of others. And that's a crime. How can you do that to your country? That is what I believe America is saying to Mr. Snowden. Well, isn't that an important lesson for us? Don't say, I didn't say anything untrue. I told the truth. Why do you call me a gossiper? I'm merely telling it the way it is. I'm telling you that so-and-so plays music late at night. I'm telling you so-and-so shouts at his children. I didn't lie. 1,000 people could testify. Yeah, but you said it. Why did you say it? Do you have his best interests at heart? You told the truth. But you embarrass that person. You make people think unfavorable thoughts about a person like that. And the Torah is very strict. Know what to say, know when to say, and know how to say. And if you're not sure, just be silent. Don't say, it's my right, it's my right to say whatever I want, as long as I don't hurt a person. No, it's not your right. As the sages tell us that until you say something, you own the word. Once you say something in public, the words now get a life of their own. You cannot retract it. You can say, come back, words. I want it back. You're mine. I want to take it back. Of course you can't do that. So here we have a story. You're an American, even if you don't want to be an American. And even if you did not lie about your country, they're very upset. You made them look unfavorable. You're a Jew. Act Jewish. When it comes to speaking, speak proper and speak laudatory. Let me end off with a story. There's a story told about one of the greatest of the Hasidic Rebbes, Rabbi Levi Yitzchak of Berdichev. And the way the story goes, it was on Tisha B'Av, the 9th day of Av. This is a day when the Jewish nation sorrows over the destruction of their ancient temple. And they do not eat or drink close to 25 hours. So this holy rabbi leaves on the day of fasting, and he feels the weight of Jewish exile, and he just spent the day weeping and sorrowing and fasting about the destruction of the temple. And as he's walking down the street, he sees a young man eating. Now, most people that have just a modicum of respect, if they see a rabbi when they should be fasting and they're eating, what they should have done is just simply either leave or hide the food. But this guy was staring at the Rebbe and he's eating. Well, the Rebbe cannot just avoid that. But he was such a holy man. He was always trying to find something right about something which was wrong. So he went over to the man and he says, my son, you probably don't know what today is. Today is the 9th day of Av. Have you perhaps forgotten? And the man says, no, Rabbi, as a matter of fact, I know. Today is the 9th day of Av. So the Rebbe is trying to find a merit for him. He says, well, perhaps they never taught you, but it's the Jewish tradition that on the 9th day of Av, which is the saddest day of the Jewish calendar, we don't eat, we don't drink. I saw you eating and drinking. Obviously, you didn't know about it. And the man says, Rebbe, what are you telling me? I learned that in school. Of course I know you're not allowed to eat or drink. The Rebbe's taken aback. I mean, this guy has real chutzpah. He says, well, then the only reason why you must be eating and drinking is because you're not feeling well. And if so, let me wish you a refuah shlema, speedy recovery. After all, Jewish health is so important. You may eat when you're not well. And he laughs at the Rebbe. Oh, Rebbe, look at me. I'm strong as an ox. And when he finished saying that, the Rebbe looked at him and then lifted his head upwards. And he said, Rabbeinu Shalom, Master of the universe, bless your children. They are so holy. Look, I gave this man 3 opportunities to lie, but he insisted on telling the truth. So here's a real chutzpah yad, someone that has true audacity, someone has no respect, someone that looked the Rebbe in the eye and said, I don't care about our tradition and I don't care about our laws, and don't try to find a merit for me. And what did the Rebbe do? He found a merit. He absolutely found a merit and asked for a blessing upon all Jews because this man told the truth, how dear truth is to him. Would you call him naive, innocent, foolish? I wouldn't. Heaven forbid. He was a very wise and holy man. There's a lesson over here that if you could see good, say good. And if you can't see the good, investigate. Maybe you could scratch out some good. Now, that's where the story ends. I would just add a caveat. So you might say, so what did that guy get from it? And the answer is, what that guy might have gotten from it was that in spite of his evil, the Rebbe still saw something good about him. And maybe precisely that affirmation of goodness that he still possessed, that might actually be the hope to bring him back. So friends, let's celebrate who we are. Let's talk nice. Let's talk positive. And let's hope and pray that the Mashiach comes very soon. Amen.